Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me. I am Yoshi Lan, and it is Throwback Thursday. So, today, I was actually thinking about talking about how I got into spirituality. The, um, the particular thing that I started and my shift in language that opened the door, unbeknownst to me at the time, to my spiritual journey when I was living in Hawaii. But I have gotten visions of what to talk about instead. So I'm still going to be talking about my time in Hawaii, but it's not going to be what really jump started my spiritual revolution. Okay. So when I was living in Hawaii, I met this very eccentric lady, okay, who became my friend. And she was very spiritual, very like kooky woo woo type, if you ever saw one, okay? And her name was Ante. Now, she had like a French name, but she was an Asian woman, which even made it seem even stranger. But I was like, okay, you know what, it'll be okay. Because, she seemed really in touch with a lot of stuff, and the stuff she said turned out to be true. So I was very curious because she's very spiritual and she's fairly in touch with reality. So for her to believe in this kind of stuff, I thought, hmm, maybe there's something. And the story of how we met is actually really funny too, but I'm not going to talk about that for this video. The thing I do want to talk about is this ancient Lemurian healing technique. And this was something that was downloaded by a channel. I went to a series of his classes when I was still very new to this stuff. Okay, my friend Ante invited me because she said I'd be very good at this. And at the time, I didn't really believe in this stuff. I'm like, oh boy, here we go. But I did want to write fantasy novels. So it's like, maybe this would be really good material for fantasy writing. Maybe I can do something really cool because I haven't heard of Lemuria before or Lemurian stuff, and it's not very big in fantasy. So I'm like, okay, let's learn stuff about this. I was also very respectful for the people who were there, and it was very interesting because they treated me like I was one of them. I wasn't sure if it was just because Ante brought me or because I had different energy. It wasn't until several years later when I got an aura photograph that I realized that my vibration's actually quite high. It was in the lower spectrum, reds to yellows, but it was still very high because when you look at the photo, it's very bright, very vivid colors. And I saw other people's photos and they almost had no color, and they also were in the same spectrum. It was like reds and oranges and some yellow. So I'm like, oh, okay, interesting. So I'm really not that bad. Okay. And there's also other reasons why I have very high energy. So these people over there, they, I guess they thought that I was already a healer because of how intense my energy was. And I'm like, nope, just, quadruple Scorpio and Libra and Pisces. So very psychic stuff. Lots of very deep psychic and intense energies. And when Ante invited me, the man who was conducting the classes, he was very interesting. And part of the reason why I didn't really take it too seriously was because he was in terrible health and in terrible shape. He was obese and he was diabetic. So, at that time I was judging him. I was judging a book by its cover. And I'm like, how could you say like this healing technique works, even though it's ancient and very powerful and all this stuff, when it doesn't seem to be working for you. But nonetheless, I went to several of his classes and I sat down and learned, and I have very good memory. So that's part of the reason why I don't really study. I just like sit down in class and I absorb things like a sponge. So he was drawing these very interesting diagrams that he downloaded from like nth dimension. I think he said it was like the 51st dimension or something like that. But he is a channel, so he knows how to draw information from other places. And in retrospect, now that knowing what I know now, I'm like, oh, that is very interesting. That is actually not something that anybody knows that I have seen, because I have not heard of any other person using Lemurian healing techniques. And not only that, the Lemurian healing techniques are very, very different and they're very unique. So I'll tell you some of the stuff about it. And now that I know what I know, it's like, okay, I'm understanding now why I'm being guided to talk about this, because it's helping me recollect the memories and the information that I learned during those sessions, and how I can integrate that knowledge into my current work and my current research, because it is very esoteric, and it's something that I'm not sure he even truly understood when he was teaching it. And so when he was talking about the healing techniques, there were different things involved, and you can do it, I think, on your own. But this was a two-person healing technique. So one person has their hand this way, and another person has their hand this way. And I learned later on um, from another spiritual group that they use that technique in their mastermind. So when they do a spiritual mastermind, they connect to each other by doing this. And I'm like, wait a second, I know this. I am familiar with this. Left hand receiving, right hand sending. And I'm like, this is a healing technique that was used in Lemuria, but the way they do it is different, of course, because it's a different purpose, different intention, different energies are being used. So I thought that was interesting. Like, if only they knew. And looking at the Lemurian stuff, they used two different types of light. One was yellow and the other one was aqua. Okay. And I didn't really see stuff back then. I was still closed off. So when they talk about, like, yeah, if you see color or energy or light and this and that, I'm just like, oh, this is such bullshit. Right? I'm just like sitting there going, oh my god, it's such bullshit. Like, is there anybody really seeing anything at all? And also during the group healing vortex that they did, it's like, golden light here and that. I'm like, oh my god, I don't feel anything. And like, yeah, there's some warmth, but aside from that, I don't feel anything, I don't see anything, I don't tange anything. The three major senses that you use in spiritual work. So I'm like, okay, let's see. So the first one, he talks about the giving and receiving hands, and there's two different lights. Before the two people work together, they have one hand. The left hand is the one with the yellow light. The right hand is the one with the blue light. And when the person does this, they combine the two energies together, and so it's like you're doing alchemy or something like that with the energy. He didn't really explain it too much, because he's not a master of Lemurian healing technique. It's something he's downloaded and he's teaching people based on what he was told, based on what he understands. So from what I understand of the energies and how it was working, it's a sort of alchemy that you do with the energies, so that you combine the energies and bring it into your body. So the idea was as you receive energy from the person, the light that you have guides the other light that will help highlight all the areas in the body that are not in balance, or there's something going on with them. And then the other hand that's sending, the right hand is face down on top of the other person's left hand, is sending energy. And as that energy gets sent over, then your energy is being led to all these other places for guidance and healing. And I'm like, this is really interesting. And I think in retrospect, I did see some stuff, but I was doubting myself because I was just thinking this is some crazy shit, right? I'm like, this is not happening right now. Like, I was really just blocking my clairvoyance at that time because I had already come into the lesson thinking that it was bullshit, that there's really no such thing as healing and that you can't really do this. And I think I did it with Ante at the time, which was very strange. I mean, she liked it, so I was like, okay, well, I guess I did something. And there was also some motion going on too. I believe it was a clockwise. Yeah, I think it was a clockwise rotation. Okay, it was a clockwise rotation of the hands. So you're also doing something with the energy. You're creating a vortex as you're sending it through. You're increasing the coherency of it. Yeah, I know it's kind of weird using a lot of scientific terms for spiritual stuff, but that's, I mean, it's an internal science basically. That's why spiritual stuff can be easily described using scientific terms. If a person knows enough science, they can actually describe spirituality using only scientific terms and seem like they're not crazy at all. But the fact of the matter is most spiritual people do not understand science, and so when they describe things to people, it sounds very woo and crazy because they don't know how to describe it other than using analogies, and analogies that often sound very out there. So with that, I'm not sure if I'm going to be revisiting that, but it's a very interesting thing. I may want to work with that on another healer if they use a similar type of technique, or if they do something, maybe even heard of it. Yeah, something like that. And then the other thing that he talked about that really stuck with me was the energy field. So I understand the aura sphere, the aerosphere. The aerosphere is the aura of the body, and it's a toroidal field. And because it's a toroidal field, it has two spheres next to it. And as I'm recalling his drawings, his energetic field that he talks about bringing into to balance is actually two spheres. He says there's two spheres, two I'm not sure what to call it. Aerospheres, I guess. There's two aerospheres, and they're linked together in the heart chakra. And so one aerosphere is predominantly yang, the right aerosphere is predominantly yang, and the left aerosphere is predominantly yin. But they have yin and yang properties, right? It's the yin yang phenomenon that we see so much in reality. And if you get into the more advanced teachings that I talk about, we explore things on a yin yang aspect. So it's very easy and very simple to understand how energy works, how energy flows, and how it's expressed, not only throughout the body, but also throughout emotions and energy healing work and all this other stuff. There's a yin yang process and all of this stuff. That's why the yin yang is one sphere, right? One circle. It's technically a sphere, but for 2D purposes, it's a circle, and there's also a small dot in both sides. So they're two different aspects of a whole, but even in each aspect, there's also the other aspect within it. That's what it's saying. It's not saying that there's darkness within light and light within darkness and all that other esoteric bullshit. It literally means there's a yin in the yang, and there's a yang in the yin yang. So it's actually four components. Okay, two aspects that are both yin yang. Okay, so I'm not really sure how he used it in in the healing method, Lemurian healing method, but that's what he was teaching during the class about understanding a person's energy field. And I don't know if he used the word toroid, but it's a toroidal field that he was describing. Huh. Interesting. Then we also did some other Lemurian stuff, but the thing that I'm really wanting to dive into more is the toroidal field, the aerosphere, because I do know the aerosphere is connected to the heart chakra, and that it's two spheres together, and the way it intersects is actually like a mandorla. Okay, so if you take two circles together, you get this type of pattern in the center. If you've seen a picture of a supernova, you can just take a look at that. When a supernova explodes, it takes on the shape of a mandorla. Okay, it has this shape in the middle, and that shape has a particular name. The shape is, well, it means almond in Italian, so that's where the name comes from. It's a mandorla. It's this almond shaped thing. And if you look around the world, there's different paintings of deities and Jesus and enlightened beings who have this mandorla type aura around them. And when I'm thinking about it, the top of the mandorla, like in the depictions of Jesus, actually corresponds very well to his cosmos star chakra. And the cosmos star chakra is the access point of the aerosphere into your chakric energy field. So if you were to combine them together, the cosmos star is about 9 inches over your head. So it's like just within reach of your fingertips. If you reach straight up, that's the cosmos star chakra. Okay, a lot of sources will probably call this the soul star chakra. I assure you, it is not the soul star chakra. Not the soul star chakra. It's the cosmos star chakra. Okay, that's our link to the cosmos, or the etheric field, whatever you want to call it. You can call it an etheric chakra or cosmic chakra. It's the same thing. Okay, it links us to the greater whole, everything around us in this whole universe. And the bottom one is the bottom access point is the earth star chakra. And there's different layers of the earth star chakra, but the one that connects to the bottom of our chakra is the celestial earth star chakra. So it's not the earth star chakra that's directly below. There's another earth star chakra below it that's even bigger. Okay, so the one that's below it, so it's about 9 inches, 12 inches from your feet into the ground. So 12 inches into the ground is where the celestial earth star chakra is, and that's where the bottom anchor point is for your aerosphere. So I'm wondering how this plays into a role, because if you look at a toroidal field, it's not like it's two balls that's connected at a center. It's a three-dimensional object. It's a donut. So interesting. Okay, so what I'm seeing is that the left side of the donut, is the yin side. It has a polar energy, and then the right side is more yang energy. So the right side has more of a white color, and the left side has more of a black color. And very interesting. Okay, something for me to do more research on. Just the beginning questions that I'm asking, I'm starting to see things about how the energy field works, and being able to see the aura, the aerosphere in a different light. So I'm going to end the video here. Hopefully you found this very interesting. And if you happen to know somebody or any sources on Lemurian healing techniques, please let me know down in the comments, because this is something that I am interested in learning more about. And I do know that there are a group of people who are still in touch with their Lemurian roots in California, but I don't know any of them. So if you also are in touch with your Lemurian roots and happen to know these healing techniques, please let me know in the comments below, and I would love to talk to you later. All right. Thank you so much for joining me in this first Throwback Thursday video. The next Thursday, I will be doing the video on how it started. What did I say? What did I do? What did I start wanting in order for me to shift into this whole spiritual shenanigans that I am now in and rediscover all of the stuff that I've done in my dreams. It's been a really long process, and I know each of it has been guided along the way, and I have been very stubborn, but my soul knows that, and my soul knows that I picked that particular time. I'm speaking from my soul level. Pick that particular time because this is the particular energy that will be beneficial for me to start with. Okay, I have Scorpio, Pisces, Libra, Scorpio for my first 5 signs in my zodiac. So that tells you how intense and how deep like my energy and my emotions run. In order for me to really do the healing work and to eventually get into past life recall and all that stuff, I'm gonna have it'll be very helpful to have mastery and beyond mastery when it comes to energy. As water, emotions, energy, they're very related. Very interesting stuff. And if you really want to know which my astrology signs are, in the order of ascending, okay, Scorpio ascending, Sun Scorpio, Moon Pisces, Libra and Scorpio, Mercury. Okay, so my Mercury is Libra, but it's Scorpio cusp. It's like virtually touching Scorpio. And because I have so much water sign in my chart, in my beginning chart, Scorpio has a very dominant role when it comes to my communication. And then my Venus is Scorpio. Okay, so ascending Sun, Mercury, and Venus are all Scorpio. And then what helps balance it out is my Mercury and Mars Libra, and then my Moon Pisces. Because as much as I want to like blow shit up and fuck people over when I get really triggered, my Pisces kicks in and goes, wait, but then it's going to be like this for the other person. Is that really what you want them to experience? So it like keeps me in check. I'm like, okay, maybe it's not that bad. Maybe I'm just overreacting. But also, because I have Pisces in my moon, I can also imagine some really fucked up shit too. And it's like it's real. So I don't know if that's a therapeutic thing or a very demented thing, but I choose to use it as a therapeutic means now. And also for my intuitive guidance, because Pisces is arguably the most intuitive of the entire zodiac. So like, well, bravo soul, you picked a very wonderful time for me to be born in, because despite all of the Scorpio bullshit, the Pisces intuition still comes through. And even if I ignore 90% of it, I still somehow manage to make it out okay. Yeah, the good old pre-spiritual days, right? All right, namaskara. Next week will be exciting. I would enjoy and love your interaction with my channel, and also if you supported me, that would be even more awesome too. Subscribe to my channel. I do different types of content also, and as well as astrology readings, and then like my videos also, and share them with other people. All right, I'll see you guys around. I'm not sure when I'm going to be doing my next video, but it'll be coming. Okay, I still haven't finished the etheric series yet, so I'm going to do that one also. And one of my projects right now is working on numerology. So once I finish that, I'm going to make a video on numerology. Okay, this is numerology that's based strictly on the energies of the numbers. So if you want to learn how to read numerology, my advice is to do it from an energetic standpoint, because a lot of numerology out there is either, there's like astrological links or cultural links and other stuff, but mine is just purely based on the energy. It's not angel numbers, it's not this, that, or the other. It's just looking at the energy. For example, I pick 0. Okay, what is the energy of 0? What do I see when I connect to the energy of 0? Okay, like that. Then I just write down all the stuff that goes along with it, and then I get that from my intuition also. All right, see you guys around.